Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're tackling a full spring cleaning of my kitchen. I'm decluttering, deep cleaning, and organizing every corner to make it feel fresh and functional. If you love cleaning motivation, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which space you're cleaning next. Alright, let's get started. The first thing I like to do in any space is clean up all the clutter. It doesn't matter which room you're in, cleaning up the clutter makes everything just feel 10 times better. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up the countertops, put everything away where it's supposed to go, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start a load of dishes. Dishes obviously take a few hours in the dishwasher, so it's always nice to go ahead and just clean this area up first, on top of the fact that I'll probably be using the sink to clean, so having it empty is always really nice also. The next place I want to tackle is the refrigerator. I'm going to be going through here and getting rid of any food that I no longer use and also checking for expiration dates. As much as I actually go through here, it's surprising how many things expire over time. Sometimes I guess I just pass it over or I just don't realize it, but either way I'm going to be going through both my refrigerator and my pantry looking for expired food. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to contain things into bins that are similar items if I haven't already done that. And then I'm also going to rearrange a few things in my pantry, put a few things away that I don't necessarily use as much, and kind of make things as accessible as possible for when I'm cooking. If you have any extra space in your pantry or kitchen, I highly suggest getting a couple baskets to put some store-away items in. I love buying things that are on sale, buying extras of them if I know I'm going to use them, and then I put them in here, and once a week before my grocery shopping, I'll go through it to restock. It really does help to save money, especially if you buy them on sale, but I love just having a little bit of extra space to be able to put those extra items in. And then we are all done. I love using clear bins. This is my definite number one tip. You can always see what it is that you have and how much you have left of it. Next, I am dreading to go underneath my sink. I found out later we do have a small leak, which ended up having to get fixed. You'll see me clean it up here in a minute. But I reorganized this space, I think, about 2 years ago, and it's been working pretty well, but it needed a few adjustments. There were things that were getting shoved into the back that I had kind of forgotten about and weren't able to easily access. So I'm just taking everything out. I'm going to clean the space and then reorganize to what best fits my needs now. Another tip I want to mention is that when you're reorganizing your space, you really want to think about function over fashion. A lot of times you'll see these really cute Pinterest looking doors or spaces, and I love them too, but aesthetically it looks great. Functionality, it's not. I like to use height as much as possible, so obviously I don't have an extra shelf underneath my kitchen sink here, but I try to use drawers to make things easy access, to give a little bit of extra height, and then I keep all my main cleaning products in one area. If you've watched my videos for any amount of time, you'll know that another one of my tips is to always start from the top when cleaning. Dust just falls to the ground and it's so much easier to start up at the top. So I'm going to start with the highest thing that's in my kitchen other than my cabinets is my vent hood. Just giving it a good wipe down is always super helpful. And then next I'm going to go ahead and wipe the outside of my fridge. I did clean the inside and I just didn't get to the outside because I'm using the same product as I did on my vent hood, so it was easier just to do everything all at once. Another tip I like to do is to always clean from the inside out. So I'm going to be working on my microwave right here. I don't use any harsh products on anything that I usually cook in. I think I just used Dawn soap and a little Mr. Scrub on this one. There's really not that much in there, especially if I'm cleaning it once a month like I should be. It doesn't get too bad, but we're gonna go ahead and give that a little bit of a scrub. I'm not gonna lie, this is another place I was dreading to clean. About a year ago, I think, I spilled a little bit of sweet potato juice on the bottom while I was cooking it, and it has not come up. There's a spot down there that's really hard to see, but I did see someone use the pink stuff to clean their oven and thought I would give it a try. So I just have a Scrub Daddy with me right now that I'm cleaning around, and I was actually surprised at how well it cleaned it up. I don't get to my oven as often as I would like. It's one of those places that I don't really use, but have used enough that it does need a good deep clean. Like I said, I didn't clean it as much as I wanted to. I probably should have pulled the racks out and cleaned those as well, but I did get the spot up with the Scrub Daddy and the pink stuff, so I was happy with that. Now that I've decluttered and cleaned the major appliances, next I'm going to go ahead and wipe down all of my cabinets. I have the shaker style doors, so I tend to get a lot of dust along the little edges, and then down below, having a dog with black hair and white cabinets does not mix. So I'm constantly wiping down my cabinets, but it ends up going pretty quickly. Just wet a little bit of a rag and wipe it down, and you're all set. One of the last steps that I like to do is to wipe down the countertops in the backsplash. I like to remove everything off the countertops. It just helps to kind of give it a really good clean. And then I spray the backsplash as I go. Just give everything a good scrub and get it all nice and clean. My stovetop is one of the places that I clean the most often just because I'm using it the most often, and so this one wasn't too bad. Please don't be deceived. I had just cleaned it like a day or two before because I had spilled some sort of sauce all over and I needed to use a scrub mommy because it was stuck on there so good. So one of my tips for cleaning your stove is to use a paper towel to get off the big gunks. You can always use a Scrub Daddy with a little bit of Dawn soap is my favorite to use just because it's simple and doesn't have a lot of chemicals in it. And then again, the pink stuff is always really great for those stuck-on stains. But other than that, I'll go ahead and just wipe it down. Make sure you take all the knobs off and wipe those down too, because those little suckers get dirtier than you think. Now that the stovetop is done, I'm going to continue on with the rest of my countertop, removing everything and again spraying that down along with the backsplash, just giving it a good scrub. Sometimes I'll even go through with a very light sponge and just wipe it down that way too if there's any stuck on gunk. But again, the countertops are one of those places that I usually wipe down a couple times a week, so it's nothing ever too bad. It's mostly just dust that I'm kind of cleaning off now. And the very last place I like to clean is my sink. I'm using my sink throughout the entire time I'm cleaning my kitchen, so I like to save this one for the very last. I have these little metal trays that are at the bottom. I think they're supposed to help from keeping the bottom get scratched. I do love them, but they're a pain in the butt to clean. So I basically will flip them over here and I'm just using some kind of cleaning product. I think I use the Bars Friend, if that's what it's called. And I'll usually just clean and scrub everything. These do tend to get a little bit of gunk because I'm putting dirty dishes in it and whatnot. And then I'll just go ahead and clean around my sink itself. Just get it as spotless as I can. Go through, the one place that you don't want to forget is inside the garbage disposal, the little like what do you call it? I don't know, plastic thing that goes in there, silicone little rubber thing that's in there. That thing actually gets disgustingly dirty. And so sometimes I'll pull it out. I have this special brush that I only use for this, and I'll either put gloves on while I'm cleaning it, or I'll just clean it the way that I did there. And then I always want to clean out my garbage disposal. I love these little packets. They go straight in and they clean. This one had a little more bubbles than normal, but then I found out that I had that leak, so that is the only reason why. But it does clean it and it makes it feel really fresh right afterwards. My kitchen is officially spring cleaned and it feels amazing. Let me know in the comments what space you're tackling next, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more cleaning and organizing content. Bye guys!